Yesterday, we reported from a protest held outside of the Supreme Court. It dealt with a petition against the Knesset rulings forbidding Arabs to gain citizenship through marrying Israeli Arabs. Our correspondent, Tennis Samuel, spoke with Professor Arutz Sofer from the Haifa University, who related to the demographic battle. Arab human rights organizations are currently engaged in a legal battle for the right of citizens of Arab countries to marry Israeli citizens and receive Israeli citizenship. The Arabs from the neighboring countries see Israel as a bitter enemy, but about 300,000 of them wanted so much to live in the so-called Zionist entity that they moved here. And so the rules of democracy made it possible, even for Iranian citizens, to enjoy Israeli national insurance benefits.
The situation is absurd. On the one hand, Israel is the enemy of the Arab world. Everyone talks about destroying this Jewish state. But at the same time, everyone wants to live in it because it is democratic and rich and fun to live in. So they carry out a fictitious wedding. An Arab lady from Baka, Jat, or El-Fahim marries the Arab man. A few weeks later, she divorces him, and he has an Israeli ID, and he has entered Israel. I'm not against romance. If an Arab couple falls in love and wants to marry, I wish them all the best. But they should do it in Ramallah, Amman, or Tehran. Why do they have to do it in Tel Aviv? If you were talking about 1 to 200 cases, okay. But when you talk about thousands, 14,000 women in the Negev, and I quote the Minister of the Interior, who told me 2 weeks ago that 16,000 Arab women in the Jerusalem area had been bought. Do you know what that means? That means 16,000 families. Let's assume they have only 3 children per family. When you were talking about 75,000, then you were talking about 75,000 in Jerusalem alone, and 80,000 just from the Bedouins in the south. That's 150,000 already. Every couple will make a few more kids. Tell me, are we in China? Are we India with 1 billion inhabitants? Or are we a Jewish country of 5.5 million people that fights every day to bring in another Jew so that we have a majority in this country?
In the Be'er Sheva area, the number of Jewish residents is already very close to the number of Arab ones. In the Galilee, only 20% of the population is Jewish, but the Jews keep on concentrating in the state of Tel Aviv.
There are 3 million Tel Avivites who have no idea what's going on, and they neglect the Galilee and the Negev. There was a city that you call the Holy City, the Unified City, the Jewish capital, but you were unaware of the shameful fact that almost 250,000 Jews deserted it in the last 18 years. So there is a demographic battle here within Israel too. The public does not understand this. If Tel Aviv is left on its own, it will not survive. It cannot live as a city inside such a terrible Arab world. You need some open spaces, and we receive the Negev, and we receive Jerusalem and the Galilee. Let's make the most of it. Let's develop these areas. Why are you all running to Tel Aviv?
It is commonplace for people in various countries to speak of Israel as an apartheid state, but these same people close off their own countries to foreigners.
They put up borders and 8-meter-high walls. They build camps for those who entered illegally and expel them. This year alone, Spain expelled 33,000. Don't believe these people. Europe is as vicious as it's always been, and you can quote me. Why did Europe annex Romania and Bulgaria? Do you know why? Because it wants blonde Christian workers, because it has grown tired of dark Muslim ones. All this doesn't keep them from criticizing us. What do England, France, Australia, and America do? They have all learned the trick. And that is why I want to take care of the only Jewish state in the world, the one place where they won't butcher me, I hope.
Arab Israelis claim that they suffer discrimination here, but at the same time, many of them want to bring their relatives to this country.